It remains to be seen if businesses have really outgrown the COVID-19 pandemic period, because we're seeing a lot of things happening in terms of lower PMI. But let's get right to the heart of the matter. What's driving or not driving performance this week? And we're going to be talking to Mr. Tajuddin Olayinka, Chief Executive Officer, Wyoming Capital and Partners. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Good evening. It's my pleasure.
We're talking about business environment and growth. So we're seeing Stanbic IBTC Bank published Nigeria's Purchasing Managers Index as a PMI of 42.3 for the month of March. That's a contraction from 44.7 reported in February 2023. And we also reported that March figure was a second consecutive drop in private sector business conditions. I want to know, as an analyst who interprets figures from public companies, what do you make of this report?
It tells a whole lot of story, what the economy has passed through in the last 3 months, especially since the commencement of the commencement of currency scarcity, cash scarcity in the economy. So this index actually giving us something to reflect about, something to ponder about, something that should elevate, that should draw reactions generally from economic managers, because if what we had in March was a contraction, and it was also reported that that contraction in March was a second consecutive contraction, which means that even what we had in February was also a contraction. So that was an evidence that business conditions among public companies and even private companies have worsened over this period, and it's something to also take to also make us to now look forward to what we should expect from the GDP figure for first quarter of 2023. Clearly, it was really a bad situation for the economy, especially when you look at it from the angle of new orders from these businesses, especially manufacturing and service sectors. It shows clearly that there must have been contraction among those key variables that are considered there. So if again we link that to what has happened to money supply, it's a general problem because money supply also went down in terms of growth. The growth moderated between February and between January and February. And so if what we had in January and February was what reflected in that particular PMI, then it shows that there's a problem in the economy. In fact, that problem was there, and we should be able to manage it going forward.
Okay, so looking at the PMI now, that is dropping below the 50 points mark, which is the benchmark for if an economy is doing well or not, if the businesses are thriving or not. Now, you mentioned the expectations from some of the Q1 results for these companies. Could you elaborate more? What do you think we should expect, seeing that these numbers are not very encouraging?
For those of them in the manufacturing sector, yes, it will affect them, somehow, because what that index indicated was that there was a very deep contraction. When you have 42 compared to 50, that's a very serious contraction, and it was not a one-off contraction. So it's going to affect some of these public companies, especially those of them that that engage in manufacturing and service business. So it's going to affect them. It's going to be a one-off change. Though it's not that we will have major improvement between April and June, but in that first quarter we will see some shaky adjustment, especially in terms of their bottom line. It will affect some of these companies, no doubt about it.
What about the bank?
What that indicated was that we must have seen a very, very serious deterioration in velocity of money. So it must have affected them, no doubt.
So where did we get it wrong here? Would you attribute it, because I know you mentioned the cash crunch, would you say is the fault, or is the problem can be attributed to the currency redesign program that the central bank announced?
Yes, I think we cannot take it away from that because currency design program was not much of a problem. But what was the problem was the tax scarcity that came with it. And even if you look at the tax scarcity, it was a deliberate tax scarcity. It was deliberately put together by central bank. They wanted it to happen that way. But it's, having tax scarcity with a currency design program is not much of a problem. But what was the problem was that CBN didn't come up with a clear-cut near cash alternative that would have been able to put buyers and sellers in proper agreement so that everybody can be able to buy and sell on the go. Not that you have to start transferring money to you or have to start using POS or ATM. So the near cash alternative was not there. That near cash alternative is what CBN need to really work on going forward because that near cash alternative must be on the road exchangeable. It's not ATM. It's not transfer from one account to the other. It's not use of POS. The near cash alternative is on the road exchangeable. It's on the spot exchangeable. It does not require buyers and sellers to have accounts. So CBN must work on how best to situate their digital naira to be able to play that role, because what can play that role is a digital wallet that is on the road exchangeable, not POS, not ATM, not all those transfer that created so much problem or hiccups.
Well, let's not ignore the high interest rate environment that we're having. Currently, interest rate, that's the benchmark, is at 18% currently. We also saw the last AGM for UBA. The bank is talking about slowing loan growth because of the risk of default by customers because of the high interest rate. What do you think? How do you think? Because we've seen Zenith Bank coming up in their results with impairments of over 103 billion naira. Do you think how exposed are most of these banks to non-performing loans and the risk of defaults for many of them?
Well, we cannot talk about what is known by their books. Most of them came up with especially Zenith Bank came up with year-end results or the third result, which was not bad. I mean, they were able to make a significant provision, especially with the exposure to Eurobond. I mean, Ghana Eurobond. But clearly, if you take away Ghana Eurobond, it was not much of a problem for Zenith, and I don't think it will be much of a problem for most of the banks. But they know how to run through this process. They know that it's a challenge that they have to manage. And I think they are managing well because I don't. Yes, it could pose a serious threat to their risk assets. But interest rate is something that both lender and borrower must be ready to manage and put in the proper perspective. So I think it's not much of a problem for, and I don't think it will be much of a problem for UBA too. Most of them have been able to run through the whole process. And of course, if there's a default or there's a threat of default, they will make appropriate provision. So I don't think that will be a serious challenge to some of these banks. They understand how to manage this very risky assets.
Okay, so now managing assets, we also saw that, just to chip it in, that UBA is going to be selling the Abuja disco for $122 million. And we saw that the stock price hit a 1-month high ahead of this sale. So investors are probably preparing and gearing up. They're happy about the news. Are you happy about the news as well?
Yes, I should be happy because what that means is that, even before they put up that in the public domain, UBA must have made provision for that particular debt asset, that particular asset. They must have made provision for it. It must have been fully provided for in the book. So that point that is coming into the book of UBA is an addition to what they currently have. So it will fully move up their share price, and that is something that most investors like to see. When they see you taking in bounty harvest. So that is not like a bounty harvest for UBA.
Okay, so coming back to the Naira redesign program and what we've been talking about earlier, so in clear economic terms, what advice do you have for the government, the central bank, and perhaps other economic agents on Naira redesign policy going forward?
I think the best advice should be given to central bank. What central bank needs to do is to go back to the drawing board. The electronic wallet, the electronic Naira they have, it's not properly designed to operate, to play the role of naira cash, physical naira cash equivalent. It's not on the road exchangeable, because they have to design it such way that it has to be on the spot and not on the road exchangeable. In which case, when I'm buying anything from whoever, and I need to pay cash, I don't have physical cash, we should be able to exchange that wallet, that digital wallet that will make us, seamless exchange of, digital wallet that will make the buyer to know that yes, I'm the one. I'm the one buying. The seller knows that I'm the one buying. The buyer knows that the seller is the one that has that account. So everything we just go into that particular, this distributed ledger system. So they have to redesign the electronic naira to play the role of cash equivalent. Going to ATM, going to whatever you call it, POS, they are not cash equivalent. What is cash equivalent is something that is exchangeable on the road, and it has to be that same digital money. And the second thing that where the CBN got it wrong again was, when they started that program, as soon as depositors or whoever is holding this old cash approach the bank or approach commercial bank to exchange that money for new naira. If I have 100,000 naira, for instance, you can tell me that you can only give me 10,000 naira from that physical cash. The 90,000 naira will go into that digital wallet, and everybody is getting that digital wallet almost at the same time. And so when you have the digital wallet across the country that is near cash alternative, you won't have the kind of problem that they have taken us through. It's possibly a bad situation for central bank, even for the economy as well, because they actually mismanaged a very good policy. The policy is good, but it was badly mismanaged by the central bank.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tajuddin Olayinka. Thank you for the recommendations. I hope the central bank is listening and does take into consideration what you've just said. Chief Executive Officer, Wyoming Capital and Partners, many thanks for your time this evening.